All right, Trade Pros, how's it going today? I've got the camera here at a new angle on top of my top screen where I'll be doing a lot of the reading from today. Unfortunately, I am in the process of switching my data feed from Rhythmic over to Sierra Charts. So I won't have Sierra Charts open today, so we'll have to improvise and use TradingView, and that's fine. We'll take a look at some of the bigger levels here coming into the weekend. But for the beginning of this update, let's get started with the news that we saw this morning. Georgie covered some of the key PPI numbers that came out. Fed Chair Powell was also speaking in the morning there. So what I'm going to cover here is anything that came out after our morning update. So anything really following the cash open. And we had a couple of releases come out. We had final wholesale inventories. The month-over-month figure came out at minus 0.1% minus 0.1% versus 0% expected. So a bit of a miss on that front. We had, as Georgie mentioned earlier, the April PPI final demand month-over-month figure came in at 0.2% versus 0.3% expected. Year-over-year at 2.2% versus 2.3% expected. What else did we have? We had the natural gas storage came out today at 10:30 a.m. 85 billion cubic feet versus 88 billion cubic feet coming in. So a little bit of a miss there on that forecast. And we have at 1 p.m. your 30-year bond auction. It's a low impact event. Then we have tentative, I'm seeing here, medium impact, the Treasury currency report. Let's see what else we've got here on the docket. That's pretty much all that we've got as far as the agenda for the remainder of today. I can see here we also had House Speaker Pelosi from, it looks like, District of California. We are in a constitutional crisis. Trump administration has decided they're not going to honor their oath of office. So calling out Trump on that front there. And there was just a squawk that came in with regards to Trump, but I didn't quite hear that. So we'll see if that will pop up here again. However, that's all I've got as far as your sessions, news reports for the remainder of the session. Looking a little bit quiet for the remainder of today's session. Tomorrow, we've got a couple of CPI readings out of the states in the morning. And that's basically all that I see planned. So again, as has been kind of the scenario here for this week with the China-US trade wars escalating, just keep a squawk open, have your ears open for any potential wire bombs coming through that could affect the markets, and stay on top of it that way. Other than that, for the remainder of the session, you should really see technicals kind of taking precedence here. So follow your technical levels, and let me get my TradingView chart up here so that you guys can also see that and have a quick peek. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. So we've got that. Let me get you guys on my TradingView charts here, and we'll take a quick look at some of the key figures, some of the key numbers here. So I'll get the cool part close up there. So here is the SP 500. This is the daily chart. These are not the crude oil futures, just because I don't have that full package enabled. But we're using the CFDs here. It's essentially showing you the same thing, which is the fact that we are seeing a sell-off from highs. I don't know about you guys, but there was a little birdie whose name is TPA mentioning that the market doesn't crash from lows, it crashes from highs. And what we're seeing here, this was our all-time high, 29.47s. Again, pricing discrepancy here because these are the CFDs. This one came in at 29.42. In any case, you are seeing the exact same thing. Breakout of those previous highs, and you're seeing selling starting to step in. And you're also seeing volume starting to pick up on the downside here. So that's not the best looking thing for the SPOs. We're kind of mentioning watch out for that. And we mentioned a couple of weeks back in the trading room that we had a strong dollar. This was when the dollar broke out above 98. We had SPOs coming into all-time highs. We had headlines from MarketWatch mentioning that, you know, retail investors are finally starting to switch bullish. And this is when we told our team, you know, this thing is looking like the top might be starting to come in, just because that mix of, you know, retail sentiment starting to flip back to bullish, you know, starting to believe in this rally again, coming into all-time highs, a strong US dollar and a strong stock market just didn't make sense to us. And now we're seeing exactly why that was, because institutions were waiting to sell, not to sell, but rather to take profits. Since these guys, the institutions that are taking profits up in this level are the institutions that were buying on the climb up. And any of retail, like I said, retail last couple of weeks came into the market and started to flip bullish, retail investors. And once retail starts to flip bullish, the only thing we're really missing is a headline from Zero Hedge that Gartman flipped bullish, and that would have been the ultimate cherry on top. But in any case, we're seeing that profit taking coming in from that run. We are seeing volume starting to pick up here. Where can this thing kind of pull back to on a daily basis? Well, you got these swing lows, your daily swing lows around these levels. So 2,800 would be another potential level to look out for. Some nice volume profile shown on there. And if I'm looking back here, majority of that volume, your point of control happened around 2650. So that's quite a ways down. So next level we're watching for is 2,800 for potential support, potentially get this thing back up higher. Where's my little paintbrush? See if we can get a little pull down into there, start to form some support, press this thing back up. If not, if we do come back down into here, we start to form some consolidation. And if we start to form some consolidation and that consolidation comes in on low volume, then we can look for a continuation back down to the downside. So that's ultimately what we've got here on the equity markets. That's your S&P 500. NASDAQ, I mean, they're all showing kind of similar things. All of them more or less came into new highs. The Dow, take a note, the Dow is the only of really the four markets. I don't have Russell up on here, but the Dow is the only one of the four that did not break to fresh highs before rolling over. So NASDAQ, Russell, and S&P 500, I believe, all broke fresh highs. Before this pullback, Dow is the only one that did not reach those new highs. So potential signal on that front there. Dow, again, you are seeing volume starting to pick up on the downside. Your point of control at the moment, so if I scrunch this guy up, is right around the 25,290 level here. You can see that was a bit of a flip zone, and market likes to hang around its mean price. That is your mean price. So it looks like we're getting a reversion back to the mean here, or not reversion, regression back to the mean right here at the 25,290s on the Dow. NASDAQ, same story, broke to fresh highs. I believe this is outside of NASDAQ. Russell might have been the first one to fresh highs, but NASDAQ broke previous highs here, coming up. Where did my volume go? I'm not seeing any volume on this one for some odd reason, but you're seeing that pullback. First level, I'm watching that pullback to come into your 30 or 73.90s. This level right around there could be a nice potential level there. You can see this was kind of a nice little range we had before that breakout. And then once we came back in, kind of rotated around this level. Now that we've broken back above it, we'll see if it can come back in, hold as support for a potential push higher. So that's what we've kind of got on the NASDAQ here on the daily chart. And then we'll pop down into oil, see what oil's up to. What you are seeing is that on the daily chart, we've had nice bit of a bid coming in to, here's oil, sorry guys, charts are running around. So there's oil. What you are seeing is we had a nice, almost a V-bottom bounce into 2019. So 2019 started right around here and a little V-bottom into 2019. Broke back up above your $50 handle. So that was really the level that was holding a support. We broke below it. Now we're back above it, and ever since we came back above, saw a couple of rotations at that level around the 5170s as support, pressed up off of that, and we've come back into a pretty interesting level, which is a previous support level that is now acting as resistance here. The key question for us is whether this is a pullback, just profit taking, or whether this is actually sellers stepping back in and looking to press this thing back down. So if I zoom out a little bit on the daily chart, what you'll see is made pretty much double top highs around the 74 level. You can see we had previous highs here, swept those highs, and then pressed back down. This is a key level because you had a rotation here, another rotation there. This one held support, popped higher, held support, popped higher, and then we got a clean breakthrough. Now, after 2019, we've got that bid all the way back up into there. So this is a good level of potential resistance, and although it's acted as resistance once already, you can see we are coming into that level. We've came as high as 66. What was this? Sorry, 65, 66, and caught a little bit of supply, came into a nice level of supply, and that's kind of what we're seeing here at the moment. Volume definitely picking up here. You can see we've had the first sign of a wick, so buyers are stepping in at this level on the back of high volume. So we'll see how this thing kind of plays out. But one thing you'll notice about crude on this chart is that when she trends very, very nice, very textbook. And I mean, look at these trends. So we had rotation, higher, impulse move, lower, rotation, impulse move, rotation, impulse move. So that's kind of what we're seeing here now. It looks like the buy model is done for the moment. It looks like we might be transitioning over to the sell model here. So we had this little fake out above those previous highs, broke those market structure. Now we've had that rotation up, impulse move, little rotation up, and we're looking for impulse moves to bring this thing back down. What's that level we'll be watching for? Probably around really the 60. That is your first level of support. If we can crack below that 60 level, I can see us coming back down into that 54 level. So quick slide if we can get back below there, and that's what we're looking for here. So a little bit of a longer term views here on the markets, just because of that Sierra charts technical issues that I'm having. Just switching data feeds over. So that's really what we've got here on the SPOs, on crude oil, on the other indices. And to finish it up, what I will show you guys is the TRADEPRO Performance Index from today's session. We had another blowout session here with the team. Let me see if I can find that. And there it is. So there is the results from today's session. And what you guys will notice is we had another blowout day with the team. We had 63% were up, just under 8 were down, and 29% were, sorry, just under 8% were flat, just under 29% were down for the day, giving us a sum of 71.05% green. And you can see nice, strong start to May thus far. Average is picking up here, 65.86. This is just about on average for what we've been seeing over the last couple of months. 65%, 65%, 67%, and positive 70, almost 71% for January. So great numbers. The team is doing awesome, which is exactly what we want to see. The introduction of these micro contracts as well has really helped a lot of the traders in our room transition out of that demo environment into a live environment, getting some skin in the game, and really building out their process, building out, you know, their trade execution, trade risk management, etc. So a lot of the team are having great days. We had a couple of record days for our members today, and today was actually the highest positive day as far as actual number of traders that were green for the session. So a milestone hit here with the TRADEPRO Academy team. And until tomorrow, guys, hopefully we'll get the Sierra charts back up. And by then, we'll have you guys set up for the levels for tomorrow's session. So until then, good luck and good trading. Hope you guys didn't mind this little improvisation here on today's front, and we'll catch you tomorrow. So that's going to be all from me. If you will be trading into the remainder of the session, remember those 3 rules: stay patient, stay diligent, and stay disciplined. Thanks for watching, guys. Until tomorrow, see ya. Take care. Good luck and good trading.